Beneath the surface of our oceans lies a world we were never meant to see, a realm where sunlight disappears and life takes on forms that seem almost impossible. As we descend deeper, passing through the sunlight zone, then the twilight zone, and finally the midnight zone, the creatures we encounter become stranger and stranger. Humans have sent rovers to Mars. We've mapped distant galaxies. But when it comes to the deep sea, we've explored less than 5% of it. In fact, we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about what's happening just 6,000 feet beneath our own oceans. At the surface, the ocean is bright and full of life. Sunlight fuels massive plankton blooms. These microscopic organisms feed small fish, which feed larger predators, creating food chains that stretch from coral reefs to the largest whales on Earth. But descend just 200 meters below the surface, and the light begins to fade. We are now entering the twilight zone, a vast region of ocean that stretches nearly a kilometer deep. Here, sunlight is too weak to support photosynthesis. The plankton forests vanish. There are no plants, no green energy, only the slow, silent fall of particles drifting down from above, tiny fragments of waste, dead plankton, and decaying remains. Scientists call this marine snow. To us, it looks insignificant, but to the creatures of the twilight zone it is life itself. And where there is food, life will follow, though not in forms we might recognize. The animals here have evolved into some of the strangest organisms on Earth. Many are completely transparent. Their bodies are almost like glass. The glass squid drifts silently through the water, its organs barely visible, like a ghost floating through the blue. The glass octopus is even more mysterious. Its body is almost perfectly invisible except for its eyes, the only solid part of its form. Why so many species have evolved transparency remains one of the deep ocean's many mysteries. It may help them disappear in the faint remaining light, or it may conserve energy in a world where producing pigments costs more energy than it's worth. But not every creature chooses invisibility. Some take the opposite approach. They create their own light. In the darkness of the twilight zone, many animals produce a glow through a chemical reaction known as bioluminescence. To us, the effect is mesmerizing. Tiny flashes of light, glowing patterns, and bodies that flicker like underwater lanterns. But here, light is more than beauty. It is survival. Some creatures use it to lure prey, others use it to find mates, and some use it to vanish completely. This strategy is called counter-illumination. Predators looking upward can easily spot dark silhouettes against the faint glow of the surface. To avoid detection, animals like the firefly squid cover their bodies with light-producing organs. They carefully adjust their brightness to perfectly match the light above them, erasing their shadow and blending seamlessly into the background. It's camouflage created with light itself. Other animals play even stranger tricks. The bloody belly comb jelly glows deep red. But in the deep sea, red light does not travel far. That means the jelly appears completely black to predators. Even the glowing prey inside its stomach remains hidden. In a world defined by light or the absence of it, survival depends entirely on who can be seen and who cannot. But the twilight zone is not just a place of strange adaptations. It is also the stage for one of the largest migrations on Earth. Every night, billions of animals rise from the depths. Lanternfish, squid, jellyfish, and countless other species travel upward toward the surface to feed under the cover of darkness. Then, as dawn approaches, they descend back into the deep. This daily movement is known as vertical migration. It is the largest synchronized migration on the planet, larger than all herds, flocks, and swarms on land combined. Yet for centuries, it remained completely hidden. It was only discovered during World War II. Naval sonar operators detected something strange, a mysterious false seabed that appeared every night and disappeared each morning. At first, they thought it was the ocean floor, but it wasn't. It was life. Billions of animals moving together in the darkness. Beyond the twilight zone lies an even darker world. Past 1 kilometer deep, sunlight disappears completely. This is the midnight zone, a realm that stretches down nearly 4,000 meters. Here, there is no sunrise, no sunset, only endless night. Temperatures hover just above freezing. The pressure is hundreds of times greater than at the surface. To us, it seems impossible that anything could survive here. And yet, this is where evolution becomes most creative. Take the dragonfish. Unlike most deep-sea animals, it can produce red bioluminescent light. Since most deep-sea creatures cannot see red wavelengths, the dragonfish effectively carries a private flashlight, one that only it can use. It illuminates prey without revealing itself. Even more remarkable, its eyes are specially adapted to detect this hidden light. It's as if the dragonfish has invented its own secret color. Other predators rely on a different strategy, complete darkness. Some fish possess ultra-black skin that absorbs nearly all light that touches it. Even when illuminated by a submarine spotlight, they appear almost invisible. And then there is perhaps the most famous hunter of the deep sea, the anglerfish. The female carries a glowing lure that dangles in front of her mouth, attracting curious prey. But the strangest part of the anglerfish story involves reproduction. Male anglerfish are born tiny and weak. Their only purpose is to find a female in the vast darkness of the ocean. When one finally succeeds, he bites onto her body, and instead of letting go, he fuses with her. Over time, his organs disappear until he becomes little more than a living source of sperm, permanently attached and nourished by her bloodstream. It is one of the most extreme reproductive strategies in the animal kingdom. 4 kilometers below the surface, the open water finally ends. We reach the bottom of the abyss, the abyssal plains. This region covers more than half of our planet's surface, making it one of the largest habitats on Earth. Yet it remains one of the least explored. There are no coral reefs, no kelp forests, no mountains or valleys, only an endless desert of mud stretching thousands of miles in every direction. Temperatures never rise above 4 degrees Celsius. Food is scarce. To survive here, animals have evolved extraordinary adaptations. One of the most surprising is gigantism. Creatures that are tiny in shallow waters become enormous here. Giant isopods grow to the size of small dogs. Amphipods can reach the length of a human hand. Even the colossal squid, the largest invertebrate on Earth, may inhabit these depths. Scientists call this phenomenon deep-sea gigantism, but the reason it happens remains a mystery, and sometimes a rare event transforms the abyss entirely. When a whale dies and sinks to the ocean floor, it creates a sudden explosion of life known as a whale fall. Within hours, scavengers arrive, sharks, hagfish, and amphipods. Later, specialized organisms appear. Bone-eating worms colonize the skeleton, extracting nutrients locked inside the bones. Entire ecosystems develop around a single carcass, and they can survive there for decades. Even deeper still lie the ocean trenches. These are scars in the Earth's crust, where tectonic plates collide and one sinks beneath the other. This region is called the Hadal Zone. It begins around 6,000 meters deep and extends to nearly 11,000 meters. The deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench. If Mount Everest were placed inside this trench, its summit would still remain more than a mile underwater. Despite the crushing pressure, life still exists here. Fragile creatures like snailfish live at the very bottom. Their bodies are soft and gelatinous, perfectly adapted to withstand the immense pressure. Even in these remote trenches, scientists have discovered microplastics inside deep-sea animals, evidence that human pollution has reached even the most isolated environments on Earth. And still, the greatest mystery remains the ocean itself. More than 80% of our oceans remain unexplored. Every deep-sea expedition reveals creatures never seen before, glowing worms, transparent fish, jelly-like organisms that challenge everything we thought we knew about biology. The deep sea is not just another habitat, it is a frontier, a place where discovery is constant and mysteries are endless. And perhaps that is what makes it so important, because even here in the darkest places on Earth, life finds a way. And the secrets of the deep may still hold answers, not just about our planet, but about life in the universe itself.